Today's story is told by that sorceress aunt from America. For those who don't know the American aunt, let me tell you she is a woman who has sent us stories from America before. She claims that she herself practices magic and believes that magic is not a bad thing. Rather, the problem lies with those who use magic for evil purposes. This is her personal statement, and I take no responsibility for it. The sole purpose of sharing this story with you is so that people can learn about this subject. Many listeners discuss whether I am promoting magic in this way, but I neither promote anything nor speak against anyone. The purpose of sharing this woman's story is simply to introduce you to a parallel world that exists among us, even though we cannot see it with our naked eyes. Let's go directly to the aunt. Sabbath, I hope you and everyone at bhutfm.com are well. As I've said before, whatever knowledge it may be, whether it's science, magical knowledge, or spiritual knowledge, if it is used to harm people, then it is completely forbidden. But if that same knowledge is used well, used for good work, then there is no harm in doing it. Let me give you an example. Suppose you have a gun. If you use that gun to rob someone's property, then your action with the gun becomes forbidden. But if that same gun protects property and provides security, then it is good. I myself have done many bad things in the past, and I admit this from my heart. I have misused this knowledge, and all the wrong things I have used this knowledge for will be counted as forbidden for me. However, through this work, I have also done some good things, and I hope the results will be good, and I will surely receive those results. Today, the things I will tell you will help you clearly understand how this work is used for people's benefit. First of all, let me tell you this is an incident from 20 years ago. Let's say it was 2005, the year I had just arrived in America. After arriving here, people gradually learned that I do this kind of work. Then one by one, many people started coming to me. Among them was a woman whose name was Maria. She came to me one day for some work. Looking at her, she seemed quite weak. Just by looking at her, I understood that she was under some strong magical influence. My obedient jinns told me, as soon as they saw that woman, that some evil jinns were waiting outside our house. That is, the jinns who had possessed that woman through magic. I asked this woman, "What is your problem?" She said, "I don't know. Most of the time, I feel weak. Sometimes I do things that I can't even remember later. My husband, my children also tell me, but I don't remember anything." I closed my eyes for a while and summoned my jinn Maru. Within a very short time, Maru came back with all the information and told me that this woman's mother-in-law had done black magic on her. And the main reason for the magic was that her mother-in-law wanted to bring her son back from America to herself. She also wanted her son to stay with her in Mexico instead of staying in America. I told that woman to leave that day and come back the next day with her husband. The next day, the woman came to me with her husband. When I started telling them everything openly, both of them were shocked. At first, her husband thought that perhaps his wife had told me all these things. But when his wife swore that she had told me nothing, then Maria's husband came to me and wanted to know, "How do you know so much?" I told him, "I have some knowledge, or ILM, through which I can know many things." He then said, "You are right. My mother could never accept me coming here. Even now, when I call her, she repeatedly tells me to return to the country. But I don't have any good job there, no business. So how can I return there? Whenever I ask my mother to come here, she says she won't come. I've tried a lot, even got her visa processed, but she refused to come. Still, I go to her every year. What more can I do?" When I told him, "Magic is being done on your wife, and the person doing this is your own mother," he stared at my face in amazement. His reaction was completely normal. Just think, if someone makes such a serious accusation against our mother, what would our reaction be? But Maria's husband very calmly said, "Are you in your right mind, Auntie? Why are you saying such nonsense? Why would my mother do magic on my wife?" When he wouldn't believe it in any way, I called his wife to me. I placed my hand on her head and recited some prayers and blew on her. And then the jinn manifested on Maria. After the jinn manifested, it started telling everything. This boy's mother had done magic on her own son's wife. And she did it so that Maria would die and her son would return to her. The boy's mother probably thought that his wife was falsely keeping her son trapped in America. That is, her son wanted to return to the country, but couldn't because of his wife. When that person saw the jinn possessing his wife and heard his own wife speaking in a male voice, he suddenly became very frightened and felt like he couldn't believe anything. Then I removed the jinn's influence from his wife. After that, he quietly got up and took his wife home. Probably after going home, he talked to his mother about these matters. I later learned that his mother did not admit to any accusation at that time. She even swore that she had not done any magic. Maria came the next day and told me those things. I was thinking that when a son tells his mother such things, that mother might not admit verbally that she is having magic done, but at least out of fear, that mother might stop the magic. But the result was the opposite. A few days later, that girl came to me again and said, "Auntie, the situation has gotten even worse now. Now dishes are breaking in our house. There's a strange rotten smell coming from the dishes. Bloodstains are appearing inside the closet. And all the symptoms of magic are happening, like seeing terrible dreams, seeing oneself dying, seeing various animals attacking oneself. All these kinds of things are happening." Maria was giving me these signs of magic. This time I summoned my Samuel. Samuel came and told me that her mother was doing magic much more powerfully. This means she is now even more frightened. She feels that all the news has reached her son. So this work needs to be finished as quickly as possible. I asked my jinns, "Look, how many jinns has this girl's mother-in-law sent? How many jinns are on duty at the house?" The jinn that was giving me the news told me there are about 20 jinns who are constantly surrounding Maria's house and spreading hatred and malice in her house. I prepared some blessed water and gave it to that girl and said, "Go, sprinkle this water around your house. Then call me and let me know what happens." About 3 hours later, Maria called. She said, "Auntie, as soon as I sprinkled the water, smoke spread everywhere in such a way that it felt like meat was being burned somewhere. Even some neighbors came to me and asked why such a burning smell was coming from your house." I told that girl, "Don't worry anymore. The jinns that were sent to your house through magic and whose duty was to spread hatred on you, spread disease, and create various crises, they have all been burned to death through this blessed water. Your mother-in-law is having magic done, but the sorcerer through whom she is having this work done has also received the message, and it is hoped that he will never dare to do such work again." According to my assumption, exactly that happened. About 2 days later, that girl came to me again. She had a box of sweets in her hand. She came and said that her mother-in-law herself had called her yesterday. She was crying and repeatedly asking for forgiveness for her crime. This time, she did not deny that she had done magic to bring her son back. Although she didn't explicitly mention magic, at least she admitted that she had done a bad thing. Anyway, thanks to Allah that I became a means of this good work. Allah saved that girl through me and her family too. There's another similar incident. There was a boy named James who must have been 8 or 9 years old. His parents brought him to me one day. Just by looking at the boy, I understood that he was under the influence of some demonic power. The boy's facial expression made it clear that this was no ordinary matter. He was no ordinary child, and the evil that was on him was also very powerful. He came before me and sat down in such a way that I had seen many possessed people sit, with great pride, with challenge. At first, I just laughed seeing him. I said, "Son, sit peacefully. What kind of sitting is this?" Then he answered me quite rudely. He was from a Pakistani family who had recently come here. That boy was speaking in Urdu, and he was saying, "Do your work. Look at us. How much strength do you have?" I could see how frightened his parents were. Even his mother's hands were trembling. The boy's condition in front of me and the way he was talking to me made me easily understand what kind of behavior he had at home. I closed my eyes and started reciting some prayers. After reciting for a while, my 4 jinns appeared before me. It was natural that the evil that was on the boy would be able to see my jinns. When it saw that my jinns were standing near me, I saw clear fear on that boy's face. Suddenly, he knelt down in such a way as if he were my own obedient servant. When I asked him, Tell me, who are you? And who sent you on this child?" Then that demon started saying, "I've been with this child since childhood. In the hospital where his mother gave birth, I liked this child. I have been with him since then." I asked him, "Now tell me, what do you want?" It said, "I wanted to stay with this child until the day before his death. But now you tell me, what should I do?" I told him, "Leave this child right now and cure all the diseases that have come to the body because of staying inside this child before you go." As soon as I said this, the boy suddenly started suffering. James's parents also became panicked seeing him suffering like this and came to me and said, "What's happening to him? What's going on?" I gestured to them to stay quiet. James's body was bending like a bow. Saliva was dripping from his mouth. A pallid look had come into his eyes. They couldn't bear seeing their son in this condition. They repeatedly wanted to go to James, and I kept stopping them. This condition lasted for about half an hour. After that, James the boy became completely normal and sat up. Now the demon's voice, coming from inside him, sounded very weak. It told me, "Just as you said, I have done exactly that. Now tell me your command." I said, "Leave here right now. And if you ever come back to this child, you will not return alive from here. And give me some sign before you go." It said, "You command, what sign should I give?" I pointed to the door and said, "Knock on this door as you leave." For me, this was routine work. I've been doing these things for a long time. But those who were present, they were quite frightened seeing this. About 30 seconds later, there was a sound of knocking on the door. I smiled lightly seeing it, but I saw a clear mark of fear on the faces of the people sitting there. The third incident was even more frightening. In this case, I had to work much harder. Because the sorcerer was much more powerful than me, he also had his own obedient jinns. The incident was such that one day I was sitting meditating. My daughter came to me and said, "Mom, someone has come to see you." I asked who. "Someone familiar." "No, it seems like an auntie. 2 girls are also with her." I said, "Bring them inside." I went to them after a while. When I went to them, the mother of the 2 girls fell at my feet and started crying. With great difficulty, I lifted her and sat her on the sofa. I sat beside them and tried to calm the woman down and said, "Why are you so worried?" She told me a very long history, which I am telling you in brief here. Her daughter had gotten married back in the country. The girl lasted only 3 or 4 years. 2 children were also born. After that, the girl's husband went to someone else. Because of this, a quarrel started between husband and wife. Then the situation got so bad that they got divorced. But the real incident started after the divorce, and it was about the custody of the children. The mother couldn't stay without her children, but that characterless father didn't want to give the children. When a mother applied for custody in court, the girl's husband told the court that this girl is crazy and the children can't stay with a crazy girl, although that girl was completely healthy. The girl's husband actually tried hard to make her crazy. They made fake doctor certificates, and they presented all such evidence in court. They even took the help of magic to prove the girl crazy in court. And they approached a very big sorcerer. They paid him good money too. When the girl was presented in court, she started behaving very strangely. She started saying such strange things in front of the judge that they assumed the girl was truly crazy. Her mother was crying telling me all this, and I was consoling her. I asked them, which one of these 2 girls is the patient? Because both were wearing burqas. Their mother pointed in one direction and said, "Her." I asked, "When did you come to America?" "We came just last month after finishing the trial hearing." Her daughter's behavior was getting worse day by day, so they came here through one of my devotees. The girl's mother was saying that she now wants a solution to this ordeal. She also wants her grandchildren to come and stay with her. I removed that girl's burqa and called her. As soon as I placed my hand on her head, my body trembled. Really, very heavy magic had been done. Right then I understood that this sorcerer was no ordinary person, and to win against him, I would have to work very hard. That girl's condition was still crazy. She would suddenly burst out laughing. Then the next moment she would start crying herself. Sometimes she would say, "You can't do anything to me. And sometimes she would hold my feet and say, "Forgive me, save me from these people." I took a talisman from the closet and put it around her neck. As soon as the talisman was put around her neck, her condition improved a little. But this was temporary. I needed to make a complete arrangement so that the magical influence would not remain in the future. I assured that girl's mother and said, "You go home now. Give me 3 days. I'll see what I can do." That girl's mother gave me many blessings and left from there. I stayed awake for the next 3 nights. And during those nights, I understood that what was about to happen was very dangerous. The girl's life could also be lost in this. We sorcerers never fight directly with each other. We send messages to each other, but fighting is not our purpose. It's much like a fight between 2 lawyers. As I said in the first incident, where I burned those sorcerer jinns, through his knowledge, he understood that my spiritual power or practice was much more than his. So he backed away from there himself. Now, in exactly the same way, when it became clear how powerful the person who did magic on that girl was, I showed him my power. But we didn't want to fight directly with each other. I took a photo of that girl's husband from the mother, and I started doing magic on him. I started gradually worsening the condition of their house. That boy had become almost half crazy. My jinns would always guard their house and cause various damages to their house. Then one day, I called her mother. "Now you call the boy's mother and tell them to stop having magic done. If they stop this work, then everything will become normal in their house." Anyway, the boy's family themselves were very annoyed and upset about this situation. I had weakened their mental state in such a way that they had no idea whether magic was being done on them or something else. When the girl's mother informed them what was actually happening, the boy's family immediately agreed to compromise. Then it was decided that of the 2 children of the boy and girl, i.e. husband and wife, one would stay with the father and one with the mother. They went to that sorcerer and took back their magic. Then I stopped my magic from here. There are many more such incidents that I will tell you in the future if you want.